Welcome to Source Not Found, a show about the worst versions of your favorite things. Every other week, we take an IP, franchise, or fandom and examine it solely through its sequels, spin-offs, and side projects, basically anything but the source material. My name is Beau Woodall, and I don't have a joke except for the fact that this is fucking episode 69, baby. We get the fun sex number for an episode. The next one we get
James Bond 69.
James Bond 69. The next one is I don't know, fucking Star Wars 420.
Oh shit, we didn't do anything for 6-7.
Proudly.
Anyway, I'm June. Brandon June. And I'll have a bourbon. You can shake it if you want. You can start. I don't know, it's a bourbon.
I loved that so much.
I know you did.
Yeah. So we're actually,
Bond drinks bourbon.
Yeah, I do. We've been doing spies for the past month. And so leaping right into July, we are finally tackling the spy among spies, James Bond himself.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't done a graphic novel in a while. So Brandon...
Is the last one Mage?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Wow.
I only have one other graphic novel that I really want us to do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we'll see if that ever happens. But...
What is it? Do I get to know?
Hatter M. It's an Alice in Wonderland graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
It's gnarly. The art's by Ben Templesmith.
You got me. Sold.
Yeah, the Mad Hatter is basically an assassin for the Queen of Hearts. It's fun. It's a really good time. But that's not what we're doing this month. What we're doing this time is Warren Ellis's 2017 12-issue run of James Bond with art by Jason Masters. The two separate graphic novels are Vargr and Eidolon. Right?
Eidolon?
Eidolon?
Yeah. I don't know. That's how I say it.
I don't know. I know that they were summons in a Final Fantasy game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about
Spirits.
Yeah, that's all I
think
know.
Vargr is Norse for wolf.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Eidolon is spirits and things.
Yeah. So
and yeah, I guess both of those apply to this story.
I mean, I think they apply very, very well. Vargr a little less so.
I think Vargr a little less so on every metric, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna break these two graphic novels down real fast.
Yeah.
And
please.
then we can get into it. Okay. So the first six issues are the Vargr storyline.
Mm-hmm.
008 has been recently murdered and 007 is fucking pissed.
Yeah, he is.
The big carryover.
He's basically fucking John Wick.
Yeah, he's John Wicking the he's going nuts.
So y'all know, these are not James Bond comics. These are John Wick comics.
The amount of missing head pieces, like skull fragments.
Yeah,
it's
the fucking
a lot.
Headshots,
dude.
And the splatter, like the art, it's gory.
It's visceral.
Violent. Anyway, didn't mean to throw you off.
No, you're good. So there is currently a governmental thing happening in England called the Hard Rule, where MI6 and the O's are not allowed to carry weaponry on their own land. Who are we, America? MI5, however, I don't know, the FBI to MI6's CIA. Do you think that's fair?
That's what I would say, yeah. Domestic versus foreign.
Domestic versus foreign intelligence, and yeah. MI5 has
that's the hard rule, right? It's like y'all can carry when you're in other countries,
but not
you have
ours.
to pick up your gun at the border.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
And take it over there. Yeah.
So that's happening in the background of both of these graphic novels. And it's a very, very big thing because Bond can't have a gun in London or in Britain if he's even getting like an assassination attempt on him. Vargr focuses around, we're going to call them tainted narcotics.
Sure.
A
hell of a high. You'll vomit your insides out of your eyeballs.
Oh yeah, you bleed from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ebola level shit. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
There is a brilliant scientist that the entire world is effectively working with who focuses mostly on prosthetics and cybernetics. He's super loaded. Think Elon Musk if he made prosthetic arms and legs instead of cars and rockets.
So the prosthetics like explode and lock down and lock the user like into their own embrace.
What's funny is, yes, they kind of do.
Yeah.
At one point, the prosthetics literally explode.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not wrong. So apparently, like, the entire Vargr storyline is trying to end this guy, this tech Mongol who controls the prostheses across the entire world, basically. And he is drugging drugs to make people die oh so fast. And he's doing it all for the love of science. What an asshole.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah. Well, how did you pronounce? You said Eidolon?
Eidolon, I think. I think I put the emphasis on the second syllable.
I thought it ended in an O-N, not an I-N. So I always said Eidolon. Hit us up in the comments. How do you say this fucking
away
word?
From a dictionary.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, though. So the Vargr storyline, the art is very, very fun. I had a great time with that. The Eidolon storyline, however, is so James Bond.
That was my first thought, too.
It mixes like the Pierce Brosnan era with the Daniel Craig era a little bit. Like, you have a hyper violent Bond and a hyper violent antagonist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I never saw Pierce Brosnan as hyper violent.
No.
But this Bond will absolutely fuck your shit up.
He tortures someone with a box cutter.
Yeah, him and another MI6 agent.
That's fucked.
It is very fucked.
It's grisly. Anyway, I'll let you get to the synopsis, but I have thoughts on that and many other things. Yeah.
So, if you watched the Daniel Craig films, there's one called Spectre, right? Talking about basically black dark ops that do some really questionable shit for different governments. Eidolon,
like MI6.
Eidolon, whatever. That's their...
Say it all and one of them will be right.
Yeah. This is Spectre's leave behinds. Like, they are their ghost cells. These are people that will be activated when they need to be activated. And suddenly they don't care about being activated. They just want to get paid and get the fuck out. And so this entire 6-issue run is some of the best trained soldiers, assassins, and spies in the entire world wanting to bring down MI6 so they can get fucking paid. And that's it.
Yeah.
And in the background, we have the whole hard rule thing going on where MI6 wants to be able to carry weapons around MI5. It's okay. We're going to jump into it now. Because
let's do it.
That's the hard rule, reading it as an American it really removes a lot of the weight from that plot device. I live in goddamn Tennessee. I've seen 11-year-olds with concealed carry licenses. Like, everyone has a goddamn gun. It's horrible. It's terrifying. And they're like, no, not even our secret agents, our military spec op trained secret agents can have weaponry and ammunition on their home soil. Warren Ellis, I think you are a phenomenal comic book writer. I've loved all of your shit across the board. But the hard rule really took me out of it as an American, because I see so many guns every goddamn day.
It does lead to one of the better lines in the graphic novel, though, where he's with Bird Whistle. And he stashes the gun. He drops it in a dumpster. And she's like, did you just leave that gun in a dumpster? And he's like, it's America. I thought I would just pass it to a mentally ill person or a child, but
I'll leave it in a bin so they can find it themselves or whatever.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. He's got some fun little one-offs like that. To the point about Warren Ellis. I'm also a big fan of Warren Ellis. And I was very curious about this going in. You know, we were looking for Bond stuff to do in the lead up to First Light and trying to find some like deep cuts, like some Bonds that we hadn't experienced ourselves. Although for me, that's not difficult because I'm not like a big Bond guy.
Sure.
Like Warren Ellis, I'm very curious to see his take because I'm familiar with his work and it is depraved and violent and bleak and subversive.
If you read a Warren Ellis book, you normally do not have a hero. Everyone in a Warren Ellis book is egregiously fucked up. It is, he does shades of gray when it comes to morality better than I think any comic book writer that I can think of off the top of my head. Like, your heroes are also despicable and your villains are kind of right for most of Ellis's shit.
Maybe not Fell. Speaking of you brought Temple Smith up earlier, and like
maybe not Fell.
The Temple Smith Ellis book Fell, which is one of my favorite series of all time. I loved Fell. Over Too Soon.
Man, I didn't know you loved Fell.
Yeah,
I think I still have the entire run, single issue first print.
Too. Yeah. I think that actually got me into Warren Ellis. Because I think I just remember like actually finding it, like seeing it at the shop and like being kind of enthralled by the cover. Like, what is, and I think I'd read 30 Days a Night and probably some other Temple Smith, like, oh, we got another Temple Smith going here. And I kind of went back from there. But yeah, like that's like really just one off kind of really horrific, like depraved, and oftentimes sourced from real world event stories that this like detective is sort of investigating. But anyway, was wondering like, what is that going to look like? Because yeah, I mean, ultimately Bond is a secret agent and he does ethically dubious things.
Yeah, morally ambiguous at best. Yeah.
He has a license to kill. But it's always like packaged in a way that's more palatable because it's Bond. There's a style to it and it sands off the rough edges. But Ellis doesn't sand off the rough edges.
At all.
He writes towards the rough edges. And
I was going to say,
that's, yeah.
Real quick, your introduction to Ellis was Fell. My introduction to Ellis was his brief run on Constantine, which had maybe one of the most unsettling 6 issues of John Constantine I've ever read. Like,
see, I was going to guess Transmetropolitan.
I mean, you introduced me to Transmet, I think.
That was me? Oh, okay.
But
anyway,
it like I walked away from that graphic novel like nauseated based on what it did. So I was with you on how this was going to function. I was very curious.
Yeah. So ultimately, I don't really care for this series. And I think I'm kind of getting at the reason why. We don't quite get to what I expected might be the case, which is a really subversive take on Bond, and maybe like using it as a vehicle to pick apart and like analyze and comment on the idea of Bond as a hero and all of the sort of institutional machinery and agencies around him and his role in society. We sort of go half the way there. Basically, we get a John Wick book in part 1 in Vargr in a lot of ways. He's more of a John Wick character. Like, he doesn't feel Bond to me in that first half of the series. Second half, Eidolon felt very Bond.
I was going to say, I never felt Bond.
In any of it?
No. There was, look, Bond at its core, since the beginning, Bond is camp.
True.
Bond is not serious. Ever. If you have a watch that can fire a poison dart from it that can knock somebody out as soon as it hits their neck, we cannot take you seriously. And that is James Bond. I wanted to see what that would look like in a dark, angry, gritty Warren Ellis world. And instead what I got was the dark, angry, gritty Warren Ellis world with none of the fun that I was hoping to see.
Maybe the camp comes from Jason Masters' Bond looking a lot like Archer. He looks like Archer.
At one point, he wore a black turtleneck with a black gun like shoulder holster over it, and I was like, "You're fucking drawing Sterling Archer right now, my dude." That's what we're doing. I think.
Okay, but would you agree that at least part 2, Eidolon gets closer to Bond? I think you did say that yourself, right? Like, it
100%.
And maybe it's like the setup and also just like some of the one-off interactions, like when he's with Birdwhistle in the hotel room, and big surprise, they're in a room with only one bed. And he says, "Miss Birdwhistle, which side of the bed would you like?"
This fucked me off.
And she says, "I think we passed a perfectly good sofa on the way to the balcony." And he says, "You're going to be awfully uncomfortable on that."
Yeah.
You know, and she's like, "Oh, Mr. Bond, rip your like wit," you know? And like, I'm not crazy about those sorts of dialogue interactions, but that felt like a Bond exchange.
See, I 100% disagree.
Really? Okay.
It's a good line, but I never...
It's not a good line.
No. I never saw this Bond as charming.
I don't think it's charming.
Right, but see, that's...
I don't like it.
Bond. Bond
Yeah.
is supposed to be a charismatic monster.
Well, she's charmed by him. That's the other thing too. It's like very truncated, like.
Or, and this could be a wild take, or she's just horny. Like she is also allowed to have needs, Brandon.
The fact that it's like 8 panels, we go from just like total disinterest to just full on smooch, and then it's the next scene. It's like, well, wait, you don't have one little panel for just like, I don't know, toes sticking out through the bedspread or something, like no. Just nothing,
dude. She's not just into him. She's a dominatrix.
She bites his finger.
And she says, "I left my gear at home. Bring extra belts."
True. Also that.
Like, no. This is less Bond, more Birdwhistle. And that is the problem I have with Warren Ellis's Bond. The reason I bounced off of this so hard. Like, hey gang, guess what? I would not source this Bond.
No. I don't recommend this book.
It's a fun book if it didn't have Bond's name on it. It could be called anything. It could be called MI6. It could be called, I don't know, Agent like Raconteur or what, like all sorts of shit. It could be called all sorts of things, but putting the name of Bond on it implies very, very important characteristics and tropes that were not carried through. And I get that Ellis probably wanted to make it his own.
Yeah.
But if it ain't broke, man.
Well, and like where he chose to exert his influence too, it just, again, it feels like a half measure. Like I wouldn't recommend this for any reason because I just don't really think it does anything all that interesting. It's like you have a secret agent character and it's a little grittier than a Bond. But like, what's the threat? You know, it's not like any really interesting idea in terms of the villain or the threat or the peripheral characters. And I don't know. It's just like we bring a lot of violence and hyper gore and a lot of headshots and Bond just like breaking people's bodies apart. And like it's visceral and like the art emphasizes that with just like a lot of inky splatters of just innards and blood. He's hyper violent. He carves someone up with a box cutter. And like, that's the kind of stuff that, yeah, whether or not this character would do this, there's a reason that like Bond packages things in a certain way. It's like when you see all of this bleak, violent, visceral violence and gore, you can't enjoy the camp, and the camp's not here to even balance it out. We don't have any gadgets. We don't have any like fun scenes. Like there's really not much. There's not even much in terms of story.
If we would have had a car that dropped caltrops or like oil slick or anything, that would have been a breath of fucking fresh air. Even Q, okay, my favorite character in James Bond movies is not necessarily James Bond. I love Q.
Good. Probably
I've
right.
always loved Q.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right choice. Mm-hmm.
This Q sucks butt. Like he's
He's a
misogynist.
Yes.
He's a chauvinistic pig, and he doesn't offer anything fun to the main character.
It really frustrated me, and it's early on in Vargr, where he's commenting on Bond's Walther P99.
Yeah,
and he says
P99.
this is a gun for women. And I'm just like, Bond is rooted in misogyny.
Yes.
You know? Why do you need to bring that forward? And this is the whole idea here is modernizing Bond. You have modernized Bond and recontextualized a lot of it. Why do you need to bring that in with it? You could leave that in
I
the
was going to
past.
say, this book was published, not written. This book was published less than 10 years ago today.
Yeah, there's no excuse for that.
No.
It's not like you're trying to write characters that would have said things like that in the era that you're like, it's a modern book. And again, even if you're doing that, you are creating a new world. Why even bring in that aspect? Like what purpose does it serve here?
I will say this. There was a character in this book I liked. Moneypenny is a badass.
Moneypenny's cool.
Bond walks in to meet M, and Moneypenny is there, like, cleaning her weapon, despite the fact that the hard rule has been passed.
Right.
She is there with a firearm out in public, reloading clips and cleaning her weapon, as if to say, the rules do not necessarily... She is more Bond than Bond.
Yeah.
And, like, I would follow that character through so many different stories. Like, the idea of the last line of defense before you get to the head of the MI6. Like, what does she have to do on a regular basis? Because it's probably crazy, crazy shit. I want to read her book. I don't care about Bond. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't care about this Bond. I don't know. Early on, like, I thought we might. So I think the most Bond thing he says in the entire two books is when he's talking to Q, and Q is kind of reprimanding him for not using like a hard holster. It's like, why aren't you using a hard holster? I think it's in that interaction. it would spoil the line of my suit.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. That's the kind of
a good
energy
line.
we should lean into.
Yeah, I want to see more of that, please. There's another instance in Eidolon whenever he goes into the hotel after they get an assassination attempt, and he walks into the Shimmer.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks in with nothing. No wallet, no gun, no ID, nothing. And he's like, I need this, 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 this. I need a room here. I need this. I need a room service bin you brought up. We're both very, very hungry, and we probably need a spa treatment as well. And they're just like, absolutely welcome back, Mr. Bond. And Bird Whistle is like, what is this? And he's like, this is what people don't know about. Like, the fact that MI6 has a safe house in England. Like, this is it. Like, it was that is a good Bond moment. Like, that is a maybe not charming, but at least charismatic moment. Like,
yeah,
he commands that scene on the page. And to be honest, he doesn't do that often in either of these graphic novels.
No.
No one really commands the page outside of Bird Whistle and Moneypenny. And maybe that's the point. Maybe they're like trying to take the initial inherent misogyny and chauvinism in Bond and make two strong female characters the only real important and interesting ones.
Maybe. That's what I mean. Like, the whole thing just feels, it all feels very insubstantial and like a half measure, like I keep saying.
Yeah.
Where, like, we approach certain ideas of, like, maybe subverting the idea of Bond, maybe being critical of the idea of Bond and the agency, but we don't go all the way there. We just sort of, like, take some elements that would maybe be appropriate for what I expected would be a more subversive Ellis take on Bond, but then we just sort of, like, attach them to a very generic Bond style story. Yeah. And we just dispatch the villain and we just kind of call it a day. And
the villains aren't even dispatched in a fun way. Like, every James Bond villain has most James Bond villains have a pretty memorable death scene.
What, isn't that memorable to just watch him stab himself in the neck with a knife?
Or just Bond shoot a dude in the fucking face.
Okay, and Vargr, right? Yeah, where, like, he's locked in the room that's like, this is going to be within moments, 300 degrees Celsius with, like, nitrogen, whatever, like, jets. Like, okay, that's Bond villain energy.
That's
like,
Bond. That's Bond.
Mr. Bond,
yeah.
Let me explain my plan as you start to sweat, you know? Like, okay. The moments, but again, like, they're not novel enough to really rank and recommend the book. And I wanted to talk about the art a little bit, because
yes, thank you, because I was going to as well.
Yeah, they feel insubstantial to me. Like, there's just not a lot here. And a lot of it is just like, I don't think we really cover that much ground in 12 issues, 6 for each story. But, like, I read a lot of manga these days, and I feel like you get a lot more, like, it's almost like coming off the highway, and then I have to drive through a residential area, which is like how Western comics will depict action and what they'll do with limited, like, page real estate. And I feel like we have a lot of just, like, full page or, like, half page big panels that they're not, like, load bearing. It's just like an establishing shot of the exterior of a building, or we'll break, like, a car crash into, like, so many panels that, like, the one I want to talk about is the scene with Dharma Reach, where Bond is in the back of the car and she gets on top of him and he goes to, like, chop her hands and realizes they're prosthetics, and he almost breaks his hand on them.
No, he doesn't realize they're prosthetics. Forward. He thinks they're still gloves because he's
that's
a
true.
fucking
he thinks they're armored gloves,
idiot.
Right? Yeah. Okay, he kicks
That's not how gloves work, you moron.
He's Archer. Okay, so he kicks forward into the driver, and the driver, like, the car careens off of the road, and we get a car crash. From that kick, the next panel is like so, like, the perspective, we are so far zoomed out from the action. It's like helicopter footage of a car chase on, like, the morning news. Like, we are so far above the action. We're seeing this little tiny baby Hot Wheel Matchbox car, like, sort of, you like, it almost takes your eye a second to realize what we're even looking at. And it goes from that into, like, a couple panels of, like, exterior of the car crashing into the truck. And it's like 4 or 5 panels in, I think, where we even get a scene from inside the car that has any sort of, like, energy, like kinetic energy to it. And, like, the characters responding to the impact. And I just couldn't help thinking, like, if this were a manga, we would have, like, so many, like, contours and, like, action lines of, like, the characters within the car, like, being careened forward. But instead, we're, like, way zoomed out. And I think there's a lot of, throughout these 2 graphic novels, a lot of perspective choices and, like, compositions that do not carry a lot of energy. They're, like, way zoomed out from the action, or they are redundant in, like, giving you, like, 4 or 5 subsequent panels of, like, different perspectives and, like, minor actions in the Bond chokehold. And I think we just waste a lot of potential page real estate on ineffective action.
So
I wasn't crazy about it.
I think that is a writing issue, not an art issue.
That's true, but right. I'm thinking about, like, the composition of the panels itself.
Yeah.
But also, yes, there is redundancy in, like,
that should be a writing issue. Like, the writer normally lays out the page and the artist fills it. Right? Like, panel structure, like, if you want a big double page battle scene, like, I don't want to say this because it makes me sound pedantic, but I'm going to do it anyway and sound pedantic. I took a couple of courses on writing comic books in college. And, like, we had a couple of artists, like, come in and talk to us about what they expected from a writer. And they expected fucking everything. Like, with good reason, right? Like, you are in the process of trying to tell a visual story through words. And you're trying to tell that through the eyes of another person to convey what you want on the page artistically. We looked at 2 separate comic book scripts. I'm sorry. One was the script for Watchmen. And one was the script for Sandman, A Season of Mists.
Okay. I already know. Looking at the Alan Moore, you get that writer has very specific instructions.
A $50 size square panel on the top of the page was a full page, single-spaced, 10-point font of prose to describe exactly what he wanted. But then you look at the next script, and it's like 6 or 7 lines for each. And I don't know. Like, I don't know who to blame here, because there are some really cool instances of page breaking. Like, there's one where I think it's in Vargr, where he's going down into the ship, and the center of the page is just Bond descending a ladder. And there are panels on either side of the ladder showing what he sees or what he does. That's clever and fucking cool.
Yeah.
But that is a singular instance of clever and fucking cool.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say that I thought overall the art was bad. And I don't think I really did attribute it to anyone. Just talking about, like, the art as an element.
Right.
Whether it's Ellis wanting in his script, like, it to be laid out. Like, I've never looked at an Ellis script. I don't really know how demanding or how thorough he is in his scripts.
I also am unfamiliar.
Yeah.
If it was
But-
Ennis, I could tell you all about some Ennis shit, but not Ellis.
Oh man, Ellis was bleak enough.
Yeah, we don't need to get into Garth Ennis.
Can you imagine Garth Ennis's Bond?
It would be buck wild.
That box cutter torture scene. They're gonna flay that man.
Yeah,
and you're gonna watch.
And
every
you're gonna
moment of
watch it happen. You're gonna watch them strip the
Okay.
skin off of that dude as he is struggling to speak.
There are some really nice compositions in this. I found it like kind of. There are a lot of just like bold like contours that are light on textures and details. A lot of like exterior building facades that are almost devoid of any mark making.
That was really frustrating.
And some of the interiors can serve the vibe kind of well, because the one thing that's like in my mind above reproach, I thought the colors were phenomenal. I loved the colors in this book.
Incredible.
The colors read Bond to me most of the time.
Yeah, I mean there were instances where
palettes.
you would have like on a single page you'd have 12 small square panels, but you'd have one or two panels on that page of 12 that were just red and black.
Yeah, to emphasize like
death, murder,
breaking someone's hand or like a headshot most of the time.
Yeah.
And they do stand out. You also have like the Mortal Kombat style like X-ray zoom into the interior of like this bullet just entered the man's spine.
I didn't like that.
I didn't either. That's like the wrong kind of camp.
Yeah.
That's fucking goofy.
That was so against everything this Bond was trying to do.
As John Wick.
Like, if you're going to give us that level of camp, give us a fucking laser gun on your watch. Like, give Bond a pin that's also a blow dart. Like, let's do some crazy shit if you're going to do weird X-ray fucking bullet time action.
Give him a fucking pencil.
Honestly, yes. Though I think, was it Bird Whistle that stabs a dude in the throat with a pen?
Oh, God.
Yeah, she straight up stabs a dude in the throat with a pen.
Yeah, it's because she didn't have her belts.
Right.
You don't give her belts, she'll find something else. But yeah, I mean,
she was a badass.
In terms of like the actual like penciling of the characters, like yeah, he looks like
that's
Archer.
cute.
But I mean, he looked good, and the characters looked fine, and I felt like I just felt it was a little too light on like mark making, and so when you compare that with like my issues with some of the compositions and perspective, it just feels like the action is kind of like a little too light at times. But then other times with some of the brawls, it feels like really good. And again, like the texture of like the inky splatters of just like gore, like yeah, those were effective. Even if it wasn't like tonally appropriate, perhaps for Bond, like it was good art. And overall, I would say the art was good. Not good enough to like recommend reading the book for.
Right.
But the fact that it's a light read, like I knocked out both of these in an evening. Like it's 400 pages or so altogether. And again, a lot of them are just like wordless, full page or, well, like half page or just very large panel, like action shots. Like it's a quick read.
Here's the last real comment I think I have.
Mm-hmm.
I would love this if it could decide exactly what it wanted to be.
Yes.
This was trying to be 3 separate types of book.
Agreed.
This was trying to be a Garth Ennis book, or I'm sorry, a Warren Ellis book.
You want to see that?
God, I really don't.
I don't want to see that, but you do.
I really don't. This was trying to be a Warren Ellis book. This was trying to be a grounded spy graphic novel. And then on occasion, it was trying to be a Bond book. Give me 2 of those, not all 3. And I think would be okay.
Yeah.
I think I could handle that, and I think it'd be enjoyable. But the fact that there was no real consistent tone, the fact that you could go from weird-ass cartoony action sequences to something that is horribly grounded with fucking box cutter torture.
Yep.
Like, I needed this to know what it wanted to be.
Same.
And I really feel like it missed that mark. And that's a
Mhm.
big bummer because I think that Warren Ellis is an incredible writer.
Agreed.
And
Not
I think
all writers and styles are appropriate for all media or like
fair.
all IPs, right?
And I think Masters is a
that.
great artist. I think he did a great job with what he is given.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed books he's been on in the past.
I really wish they could have maybe sat down and taken a little bit more time to figure out exactly how they wanted these characters to be presented, because I don't think that happened. And that's a bummer. Because
It's kind of a bummer.
this could be campy and goofy as fuck and still be dark and twisted, and I would have loved it. I would have loved every goddamn second. Or this could have just been completely grounded and concrete, no camp, nothing. And I probably would have enjoyed that. But instead, it's trying to play both sides of the camp fence at the same time, and that just don't work.
Fucking fence, sit, and bond.
Fence, sit, and bond.
Here's the thing. Thought this book was kind of a bummer. I would not source James Bond on the strength of this book if I had not watched James Bond before. But in desperately looking for and wanting some of the camp and energy that you're talking about, I found, and again, I'm not even a big Bond guy, I got a hankering for Bond now. Like, I need that satisfied. So let's do that.
We're going to.
Let's watch some Brosnan. We're going to.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to improve how I feel about Die Another Day, because I feel like right now that's the exact energy I need.
Exactly. That I was thinking
Right?
that I've read these graphic novels 3 or 4 times now. The entire time, the only thing I could think of was, is this going to make me feel differently about some of the worst Bond movies I've ever seen? Because I think it will. Like, I really think I need the goof.
I'm so ready for goof. And I mean, Brosnan is my Bond. I grew up, my first James Bond. I mean, I think I'd seen bits of Bond on TV, but my first real Bond experience was GoldenEye.
Mine
I was
too.
at the perfect age for it. You know, then the N64 game came out, and just like, that is my childhood. Brosnan is my Bond. We're going to watch Die Another Day. We're going to reevaluate it and see how it is in 2026.
Yep.
And then we're going to end with First Light, and that is July, and I'm very excited about it.
Me too, man.
This book, in its unexcitement, made me excited about Bond month, which it was not going to be my favorite month of the year, and it might not be.
Here's something I do want to leave us off with in regards to these books. Artistically, they are not failures. To me, they are not Bond. Like, the writing is good, the art is good, but there is something about it there's just a disconnect in my head that I cannot get past. That makes it less enjoyable than I would like it to be to read. But like, Warren Ellis continues to be an incredible writer. Like, you can see it on the page. Like, the man has honed his craft, and Masters as well. Obviously, incredibly gifted and knows what the fuck they're doing. I just bounced off this one. And that happens, you know? Like,
it does.
It's not indicative of them as artists necessarily.
No.
This is not a Uwe Boll situation. All right? Like, this is not a Uwe Boll situation.
Used, House of the Dead style Bullet Rock. Bullet Rock?
I was gonna say
new genre.
Bullet
Storm.
This does not necessarily make me think negatively about Ellis as a writer or Masters as an artist. Instead, this is just not a book that I fit with.
If you like what you heard, and you're like, yeah, Bond torturing someone with a box cutter, sounds badass. Like,
check it out.
Support creative teams.
Yeah.
Support it. Yeah, check it out. But not for me.
Yep, I'm out.
How did you feel about it, though? Did you read it? If so,
Yeah, drop us a line
Drop
at
us a line.
source not found pod at gmail.com. Any of the socials, specifically Insta and Blue Sky. I'm still on Facebook. Don't ask me why. It's a nightmare. We're also on YouTube, where you can check out a full backlog of all of our previous episodes, as well as videos of Brandon playing some video games on Twitch. Which, speaking of, I know last month was Pride Month, and you embraced that wholeheartedly. What are you doing for July?
We just had a No War July 4 Donathon from Palestine.
Love that.
Thank you, everyone who supported it. Hit a bunch of goals. So we are now working through basically making good on all the things that marathon stream unlocked. Thank you again, everybody, so much for supporting it.
That's awesome.
Seriously.
That's just good shit.
It means the world to me. Yeah. So working through that for the rest of the month and some other goofy things. Come on by, see what's going on. Twitch.tv/LeJuneBug. Link down in the show notes, right next to a link to St. Coelacanth, who just put out some new music. Check it out. Got a link there too.
I did check it out. It fucking slaps. It's real good.
Hell yeah. Really good shit. Yeah.
We appreciate you listening, and I think, I don't know. Honestly, check your toilets for a misogynistic cue, because it really bummed me the fuck out.
Yeah, and then flush them down the drain.
Yeah, right down the toilet.
Stay Eidolon. Stay idling. Stay Eidolon.
Eidolon?
Stay idolin.
Vargr. What?
Dolan. Eidolon.
That's pretty good, actually.
All right, I'll just leave it at that. Bye-bye.
Bye.